We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Mr. Marcos Papadatos, thank you for giving a call this morning. Perfect timing. You were on a subway. I was just telling Maurice, gotta be signal issues. New York is not as bad as LA, especially when we think about the hills, but he was on the subway. But I give him a lot of credit for giving us a call while on the subway. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whether you're listening to us on the iOS or Android app, Siri, Alexa, Apple Music, which I'm so proud of. And I'm going to drop a gem here. And you guys know it, my assistant, Christina, Jason. I enjoy listening to Power 98.5 on Apple Music. Yeah, I've got my own iOS or Android app. Yes, I do listen to it at times, even on Alexa, but I'm very proud. You know, top 10 in news. I hope I still am, but top 10 in news, that's huge. But you got to figure, we've got my show. We've got Resilient You with Alicia Pazzoni. She covers a lot with emotional health, resiliency. We got Let Me Tell You with Lady T. She's, did you guys hear? She may be interviewing someone that she's known of for, I don't know, since she was a kid or early on or something from the Seahawks. So that's going to be exciting. I'm having conversations with the PGA right now, wanting to get my press media pass for the PGA. I'm covering UFC all week. Tonight, back to back. Fight passes tonight. So that's going to, check your local schedule for that, or it's on Fight Pass actually. And then we have ESPN Plus, Strickland this week. That was an interesting media day yesterday. So I'm going to be back at UFC tonight. 6:00 is the UFC Fight Pass. And then tomorrow we're doing UFC weigh-ins. And then Saturday's the big event with Strickland. I think that's, I don't know, what does it start at 6 or 7? Is it 7? All I know is I have to be there at 12. Yeah. So whether you're, once again, no matter where you're at in the world, wherever you're listening to us, you can always go power985.com, your premier home destination for all things news, music, sports, entertainment, reality TV, and great conversations when we think about lifestyle and more. It is a commercial-free station. I am now ready to add in advertising, but I'm not going to be like other stations, not turning it into a penny saver, not going to be calling myself a radio station and then have, affiliate shit and everything all over. You go to the website, you're not going to see any of that garbage there. I won't put it on there. It's not happening. I'm not putting pay per clicks on my station. It looks horrible. I just told someone today I had to contact GoDaddy and was talking to a musician who's been in music for over 20 years. And I just had some questions because I build out that station myself. And he said, you've got the best looking satellite radio station website I have ever seen. And this is no BS. You guys know I don't fluff. And because it doesn't look like a penny saver. There's not all this flashing stuff. It's all about the content. It's all about the people. And that's the way it should be. Because without great guests like Maurice Benard, without music, none of us would have a station. So we need to put our best foot forward and show respect as to, why we're doing what we're doing and make it about the community. Do we have any comments? Yeah, just a friendly reminder to everyone, whether you're listening to us on the app or on the website, you can click the messenger in the bottom right-hand corner, share us your thoughts, comments. Allison from Connecticut, thank you so much. Marcos, once again, thank you for the message and love and support. Anybody else, just go ahead, click that bottom right-hand icon, share with us anything. If you're wanting to submit or be a guest on any one of our shows, you can go ahead and email us at power98.5radio@gmail.com or the office email contact@power985.com. So the contact@power985.com goes to my team. Power98.5radio@gmail goes to my team and myself. So usually when someone wants to get a hold of me directly, they use the Gmail. Everything else is the contact@power985.com. But there are no rules. Just, we get messages through the messenger for submissions as well. Did you guys catch all that? Maurice Benard. Yes. I guarantee you, watch. Marcos always loves to do reviews, especially when he sends me someone. And Marcos and I had a conversation a while back ago, and it was about it was a reviewer. He did a nice piece on Maurice, and I didn't know I would be in a situation to where I would have Maurice on the show, and I'm quite honored. And to you, Marcos, because I know you're listening, he might be doing a review. I'm not going to assume. I'm going to text him when we're done with the live, and I'm off the phone with Maurice. But we were like, so you doing a review, Marcos? Because I love his reviews, and he always puts the clip of the show in there. And that's another reason why I also share it on Amazon Audible, Amazon Music, iHeart, and Spotify, because it also helps Marcos to embed these interviews in the reviews and articles that he does for myself in support and Power 98.5. So if I had that little clapper thing, I would do it. Maurice Benard, he is a true luminary in the world of film and television. With a distinguished presence and acclaimed performances, he has left an indelible mark on the industry. As a member of the prestigious Actors Studio and Emmy Award winner, Benard's talent knows no bounds. In his most recent ventures, Maurice commanded the screen as the iconic John Gotti in Lifetime's captivating Victoria Gotti, My Father's Daughter. His compelling portrayal showcased his unparalleled acting prowess. Additionally, he delivered into the realm of horror in the chilling film Nightmare Cinema alongside the legendary Mickey Rourke, captivating audiences and earning critical acclaim at the New York Horror Film Festival. Maurice, welcome to the show. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to tell you, you've got a long decades list of accolades that it would take at least 10 to 15 minutes to read off.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
What's life been like for you? I mean, you've also got your show. It's really well done. I like the way it's put together. Where should we start? What are you most passionate about, and what's passionately happening in your life right now?
Well, it's funny. As you're reading off the acting stuff, it's like what I'm most proud of is what I've done and what I'm doing for mental health, which is I did a book, nothing general about it. It was during the pandemic. And during that time, I couldn't, because it was during the pandemic, I couldn't go to New York and tour, right? And I had extremely horrible anxiety to the point of wanting to end my life every single day for about 4 months. Finally got help, went back to General Hospital to work, and my life completely changed after that experience. I always say you got to go through hell more than once to figure out who you are. And since then, I've won 2 Emmys, New York Times best-selling book, and I created a show called State of Mind on YouTube that I'm the most proud of because I produce it, I created it, I do everything to it. So there you are.
I've got to ask, because what's incredible and I'm going to say shocking is I would never have thought someone who's professional, you come across and deliver yourself being very strong, very resilient, to be a man that has honor.
Mm-hmm.
How, and I know that I worked in mental health for 15 years as a grief counselor. For yourself, were you shocked by the turn of events that were happening in your life? Were you, what was going through your mind, your heart, your body when the feeling and disconnection started to happen and you were getting challenged emotionally and mentally? I mean, where did it come from? Do you know where and why it started?
Yeah, I think what happened was when the pandemic hit, my wife came into my room and said, "Your mom and dad are moving out. General Hospital is shutting down." I never stopped working for over 30 years now. So, and then you're not going to do tour with your book, and it's the end of the world, in my mind. So that night I had a rush, and it just completely took me over. I could not shake the fear every single morning, every single day and night. But let's say this, the pandemic has been great. It's a curse and a blessing. The blessing is there's a ton more awareness. I've been talking about mental health. I was one of the first men to come out bipolar on Oprah. But nothing really happened after that. There was really no change. There was still a lot of stigma. Nobody was really talking about mental health. But the pandemic changed that. Now, the curse is way too many suicides. And that's the curse and the blessing.
It sounds to me, and what I'm hearing, Maurice, is even though you had shared years ago about how bipolar has affected your life, what I'm hearing is the pandemic really brought to the fore as to who you are, and if there was anything hidden, not addressed, subconscious, you faced it all head on real quick, and in a way to where you had to go right into fight or flight mode and sort out, are you going to run from this or are you going to hit it straight on? And it sounds to me, and what I'm hearing, and I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I'm going to tell you, I don't feel or hear, and as a professional, that any of this owns you any longer.
No more. It's done. You're absolutely correct on that. I think what's happened is, and I've gone through these thoughts and bad anxiety before. I think one thing that I've learned, and I had this last night, I did this panel with some great people speaking about mental health. One thing, if I could go back and I could have learned one thing, it would have been work on not caring what people think. That's been my problem forever. And when you're mentally ill, that feeling of what people think compounds that. Because not only are you feeling this, now it's what you're thinking about what other people are thinking. So during the pandemic, when I got through that, now I've worked on not caring what people think, and I fly. I feel like a different person.
Have you ever thought to ask yourself, Maurice, and I'm going to ask you, if you, now that I hear that you no longer, it's not that you don't care, you take in consideration to be respectful. That's what I'm hearing. The other thing
it's more like you just stay in the moment. You got to stay in the moment. Any negative thoughts, you put them out. You have to figure out how to put them out of your thoughts, distract them. That's what I've been doing for 2 years since the pandemic. And I'm just free. When you go through something, when you get close to death, right? I think. My wife always said to me, "You are stronger than you know." I even got T-shirts that say that. You are stronger than you know. Because I would go to her like during the pandemic, and I was crying every day. I would cry to the point of just getting. And she would look at me and she goes, and I'd say to her, I said, "I don't think I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it another day." And she would say, "Honey, you said that 1,000 times, and 1,000 times you've made it." And I think once you go through that, you got to there's two roads you can take, the good road and the bad road. If you take the bad road, you could get even worse, right? You take the good road and you work on what happened, and you know you don't want that to happen again. Life will reward you. And that's what's happened to me.
Do you regret not being the man that you are today years or decades ago?
Yes, a little bit. I have to be honest. But here's the other thing you have to understand. Having not gone through all that torture, mental institution, everything that I've been through, it wouldn't have made me who I am today, obviously. But I just wish I would have learned how to get rid of my ego quicker.
But is it really ego, though, Maurice? Is it ego?
Oh, it used to be. Yeah, trust me. It's ego, man.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. Only in the last couple of years have I done so much better with that. Here's the thing. I had an agent say to me once, you don't have an ego. I said, "Listen, I don't mind being king, but I don't want anybody else to be king."
I like it. I like that. Seriously. But can't we chalk it up to be self-confidence, or is it really ego?
Well, look, I get you have to have some ego to, that's the drive and the passion, right? And the competitiveness. But I think because my ego was so strong that it affected my mental health. So I worked on it. I've been working on the ego also for the last, since the pandemic. Obviously, Stephen, I wasn't doing something right. I've had too many of these things, man. I've had 3 nervous breakdowns, a lot of anxiety and depression. At some point, I had to figure it out.
I'm going to be honest, Maurice. Do you believe, to sum it all up, is there or was there anything about your past or with the relationship that you had with your family or parents or anything? What I'm hearing, especially when you said, like if you're not going to be king, no one else is going to be either. The first thing that I heard from that is you don't want to be forgotten. So did something happen in your past where you felt neglected, forgotten, always second or last in a line? Were you ever treated in your life as though you were a second-class citizen, or as though who you are, your opinion, and who you are as a person and human being was never enough for the person who you hope to love you most in life?
Well, yeah, look, in my book, there's my dad would hit me with the belt, and he didn't know how much rage he had. So that was one thing. And there's another thing that I have never talked about, and I'm not going to, but that affected me big time. So those two things is exactly what you're asking. That has contributed to all my. I think part of it has contributed to all my stuff.
I'm not correcting you, and I can relate to you honestly. That I believe it would be a lot because I went through the same thing. Not as severe, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't like to share my story often unless it's necessary. I was adopted and coming from a background of a family who had put gambling and addictions first, and who really gave up their soul to the demons in every way that you can think of what it would mean to lose and sell your soul. My family did that. And even at the cost to where my grandfather couldn't handle my grandmother's death, and he kept her. Oh my God, I don't think I've ever said this to anybody. He kept my grandmother's body in a house for a week after she died. He really couldn't live with himself anymore. And he fell real deep into alcoholism, and it took the cops and the fire squad to remove him away from her body because he refused to leave her and to get her body out of the house. I'm shocked that I'm saying this because I don't tell people my personal business, but for some reason you just reminded me of that, and I just felt to share that with you.
Well, it'll help a lot of people, trust me. This kind of conversation is what's needed.
How are you now? How are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm fantastic.
And
I don't even go. And I'm not saying that this in a proud way or anything, but I haven't had therapy since the pandemic.
But you do have a support system now.
I do have a support system. General Hospital is like a family, and State of Mind, like my therapist said, who I hadn't seen in over 40 years, 35 years. He said, your State of Mind is your therapy. Because I get to go in there every week and just cry and laugh and talk and get into stuff.
Was that your idea?
Yes. I started State of Mind in the car on Instagram story, which people said, what are you doing? And it was to promote the book and talk about my mental life, how I've lived my whole life. And I talked for like 8 minutes on Instagram story. Nobody does that, man. But I did it, and fans came. I had, like 10, 20,000 every week coming on Instagram story. And then somebody suggested, go to YouTube. I said, I don't want to do YouTube, because I always say no in the beginning, and then I end up doing it. And I did YouTube, and it was really difficult at first, and I'll talk to you about that after we get up. But now it's become this, like, it's cool, man. It's like a brand now. It's really cool.
What do you most? I don't know. Is it perhaps? Let me rephrase the question. What are you most grateful for when you think about yourself, of what you've accomplished with State of Mind?
I think what I'm most grateful for, man, I'm getting emotional. Fuck. What I'm most grateful for is two things that I think I've brought bipolar to the forefront. And I remember during the pandemic, it was probably the closest I've been to going to a tree and figuring out how to, do myself in. And then I remember I prayed. I said, God, please let me know what to do here. I don't know. And then my family came in my thoughts. And then I thought that if I committed suicide, then everybody who follows me on State of Mind or mental health or whatever would feel that it was all right to do it also. And I stopped myself.
I'm sitting with that. A couple things is what I hear is not wanting to take the responsibility.
Yeah. when I just said that, that's what I thought.
Yeah, not wanting to take the responsibility. And also, I'm as I'm processing this, was it at any point did you come to realize, Maurice, that you question your thoughts and actions by realizing of all the years and decades you've been in this world and with your wife Paula and your family, what, because did you have a realization that you know what it's like to feel forgotten and abandoned, that the fear that compelled you to be the man who you were so long ago, that you would have continued potentially a generational curse amongst your own lineage to go in that direction, and what it would do to your bloodline?
Let me tell you the truth in that. I was at the point of, I was feeling like I was a burden to my family. So I was going to be doing them a favor. That's when I think you're really close. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So, and that's what I felt as the months went on. I mean, when you're in that state of mind, a couple weeks, a month, you can live with that torture and pain or whatever it is, the thoughts that go in your head. But after 3 months, and then it gets to 4 months, and your family, I remember walking in the room, my wife has been through everything with me, except my first nervous breakdown in the mental hospital. But I remember going in the room, and for the first time, she looked at me like she was tired. And so then I started going, it's just not worth, this is not good all the way around. But thank God that we are stronger than we know. We can get through this, even though you think positively you can't. You will get through it. That's the bottom line. Now, it helps to have some kind of faith, whether it's God or Buddha, whatever you want to do, because life is way too hard to do it by yourself. You gotta feel like there's something else that gives you a little bit more power. That's just my opinion. But did you know we were going to get this deep, or what the fuck?
No, but I know myself well enough, though, Maurice, that it does happen and can happen.
Yes.
Is there still room for hope for yourself, for your family, for this world? Do you honestly believe that there still is room for hope?
Well, the hope I see is like, that's why I think the pandemic happened, and it shook people to the core. And I think people who would look at people like me or anybody else with the invisible illness, which is, anxiety, that you don't see it, right? I said this last night. I went to work one time that I was crying in the corner, and then I had to go up and do a scene, with horrible anxiety, right? But people were like, "Oh, it's all right. Just go to take a nap." Okay. And then I go to work a couple months later. I cut my arm. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was like, "Oh my goodness, what?" That's the difference, man. And they don't understand that anxiety's 10 times worse than the cut. But because they see the cut, it's like, oh. But I think the pandemic has now opened some eyes of people who were like that. Go take a nap. It's not a big deal. Who cares about a depression? Well, during the pandemic, they felt it for the first time. And they probably said, oh, boy, this is what it is.
I want to give to you and share with you a thank you, because I'm going to have to say, no, I don't, because I never know where God, the universe, all the above, where messages, and we're all brought in each other's lives for a reason. And I'm going to honestly tell you, you just reminded me of my mom. She's no longer here, but my mom who adopted me, and my dad's still here though. And in that, when what you just said, I was now realizing through you, Maurice, of how I always knew I was blessed and very grateful to have my family, to have taken a kid that was, 7.5 years old, very traumatized, and spent, the last 49 years of my life still not as bad as it used to, but cleaning up a past that's not my past, of what I went through with my family, and certain fears and programs that I didn't know that snuck and seeped itself inside of me. And it did. And it took like yourself, certain things or experiences or traumatic times for them to surface, to realize, oh, there you are. I didn't know you were there. Now I understand why I am who I am, why I did what I did, why I say what I say, why I believe what I believe. And I used to become so resentful and angry towards my mom, who chased after me when she's seen and witnessed and sensed the emotional and mental pain inside of myself. And here, someone's just telling you to take a nap. My mother never said that to me. She took everything seriously. So thank you for the reminder that I spent those decades angry at times when I felt that she was being overprotective and smothering, and hear your story and how comforting it would have been if someone just would have sat with you.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, because that really moved and hit me in a way to where I'm 49 years old and I just had an aha moment, emotional aha moment, because of what you said.
Yes. Well, hey, I'm glad, man.
Are you sure we're not on your show, State of Mind, right now?
I think we should have been, actually.
We can.
Come on.
Yeah, seriously, it would be great. I would be honored. Honestly, thank you for that. I'm 49 years old and I just had that emotional aha moment after all of these decades.
Well, it's funny you say that, because it took me 58 years to get rid of the ugliness inside. And I just accepted the ugliness. And I could do everything with the ugliness. You just do it. I'm bipolar. That's why my gut feels always so nervous and ugly and stuff. That's who I was. But when you don't have it, man, it's like you're on some kind of like high. You know what I mean? When that's gone inside of me, that what I used to feel forever, since I was a kid, since I was a teenager, since my 20s, and then during the pandemic, after that, I went through that left, and I haven't gotten it since, and I shouldn't get it again. But even though if it happens again, I'll have more skills to deal with it.
Or you just may realize that you won't have to deal with it, because you'll recognize it from the outside, from the in.
Exactly. You like I say, listen, this is a cool thing. You have to, it's like a gears in cars. You have to stay in first, second gear. You can go to third, but do not go to fourth. I mean, you can, but try not to. Don't go to fifth. See, I was in like seventh. Keep yourself in first and second, and you'll know your trigger. If you're heading to third, better figure something out. A lot of that is sleep, how you sleep. I always can figure out where I'm at with how I'm sleeping. But if you go to fourth, you better figure it out quick. Because once you get to 5th, 6th, 7th, you can't rein it back.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any relationships that you regret that no longer exist, or are you at peace with the fact that everything has its season and the people that have dissolved from your life and those where you've dissolved, Maurice? Are you at peace with that, knowing that what was meant to be learned, without putting judgment or a classification on it, are you at peace?
That's a very good question. And the answer is absolutely yes. I had a friend, and he's gone now because he was kind of a quick bad on me. Once it's gone for me. My dad died a year and a half ago or so, and I just move forward. It hurts, especially in the beginning, but I can move. I don't regret, because I believe everything truly does happen for a reason. So a lot of times when I've a lot of friends that I don't have, that aren't with me anymore, I'm better off.
What brings you the most joy that no one else would know about? What brings you the most joy behind the scenes, if you're comfortable to share, that makes Maurice just so fucking awesome?
Trying to answer this as honestly as I can. I truly believe that what brings me the most joy is now that I have the joy and peace within me. There's nothing that makes me feel better than that.
You feel
I've
younger?
never had that.
Do you feel younger?
Yeah, I feel younger. I feel look, I can never go to the supermarket really, because I was always nervous looking down. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And my dad, who's the opposite, my dad was the greatest. He would be like, "¿Qué pasó? Hello, how are you? Come here. What's your name?" He talked it, and I said, "Dad, why are you talking to everybody?" "Because I'm happy." "What do you mean?" "I know, but they're like strangers." "I don't care. I'm happy." And guess what? Now that's what I'm doing. That's joy, man.
It suits you. It feels real for you to be that way.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like I was Charles Manson for 58 years.
No.
But if I got close with you, I was just cool as hell, right? But most of the time, it was just a lot of other stuff going on. And you see on State of Mind, I'm just so loose and happy, and
you're you.
I couldn't have done State of Mind 5 years ago. It would have been a different state of mind. It would have been a little more darker, maybe deep, maybe kind of intense. Whereas now it's just, I can be that, but it's all, it's what it is.
You said earlier you never had that before. Do you feel that you've got and believe that you've got everything and more, and it's building and growing and expanding because of how beautiful of what you've become as a man and a person and a human being and a professional and as a husband?
You hit the nail on the head. I feel it growing. I feel this thing happening. And the truth is, years ago, I kind of with stuff. I tried the same thing, and it didn't happen. So now it seems to be it's a whole different feeling because of where I'm at, I would believe.
Pierre Abena. He just said, "You're a legend."
Thanks, man.
Any closing thoughts?
It's been a great interview. You're a great interviewer. It's just great. I think we to even try to do more than this would be we've done so. You and I have connected, and that's what I love doing my show, because when I connect, when you connect, and I try to connect with everybody, you can feel it. Like even on the phone here, we're not in person. If we were in person, we'd probably be hugging and stuff. But,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you can feel the connection, and that to me is more important than anything.
I appreciate that. Emmanuel Gali, thank you so much. He said, "I'm tuned in and I'm loving it." He said, "Thank you for sharing your story with us." And that's from Emmanuel Gali.
All right. Hey, man. I appreciate that. Anytime.
Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Not really. I don't know. Maybe Stephen A. Smith, because I just saw him. I just worked with him last night. My wife, Paula Benard.
That was in my head. I was like, "Are you going to be mentioning Paula? Is she on the list?"
Yeah, Paula would be one. Anna Demergis, she's a good friend. Very cool.
What's next for you?
Marcos Tapalapalapapas.
Yes, Marcos Papadatos. Yes. And while you're listening, Marcos, you're going to do a review, because I know Maurice deserves it. I'm very, very grateful to you, Maurice. This flowed. I don't even feel like I'm doing a show right now. I always know when I'm doing it. I feel like I'm sitting back, like I'm not, no BS. I feel like I'm out of time and space with you right now.
It feels cool. Yeah, I'm grateful for you. We could have this interview. I mean, we're not talking about like how's it feel kissing Carly, or
Do you still get asked like really silly, fluffy questions?
No. Let me tell you something. This is the trip of it all. When for 30 years, 28 years, all people would talk about was General Hospital. Now it's amazing how I don't get asked much about General Hospital. It's all mental health and state of mind. And that to me is incredible for me, because that means that I've been successful in another world, and now people are understanding it and getting it.
Well, I don't connect to anyone unless I'm really feeling connected to them, and I am with you, and I appreciate you for that, Maurice, and thank you for the opportunity, for what was in your heart, what your intuition was telling you. When we connected, and you have as much responsibility in this as I do, and the reciprocation is, you manifested this as well. I mean, I put out the signal, planted the seed, and you helped water it, and I want to thank you for that.
I thank you for your questions and for having your instincts, and I appreciate it.
Anytime. Anything else before we head on out and have our little personal chat and then be on with our day, my friend?
No, I'm good, man.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. All great things, Maurice Benard. Head on over to his Instagram at MauriceBenard. I'm going to go to your link tree here. Sometimes it surprises me, and I see you're not TikToking, but eventually will State of Mind be on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. It's
Are you on
Maurice
TikTok?
Benard 60.
Maurice Benard 60. Okay. That
I've
needs to
done-
be added to your link tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they don't have it on my thing. The
I
TikTok, that's weird.
I'm on your Instagram, and a link tree has State of Mind watch on YouTube, new episode every Sunday. State of Mind with Maurice Benard. State of Mind watch on YouTube. Get State of Mind merch. Maurice Benard on Cameo, and buy nothing general about it. And then the icons, there's no there's not the TikTok icon on the bottom of that. So it's a good thing. So just to let you know, your team or whoever to add that.
I'm gonna do it. They don't have Facebook either.
Nope, just what I read off of. Nope. And well, actually, they have Facebook, but it's gonna be the icon. I'm gonna click on it now. So the icon on the bottom does head on over 297,000 followers, and you're following 30 people. So the only icons on the bottom are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, email, and then what is this icon? This is Cameo. That's it. No TikTok.
Okay, I'll get TikTok. I got like 100,000 followers.
Yep. See that? I'm not even on your staff, and I already noticed that someone didn't do their job. I'm like that. I'm a researcher. I look at everything. Everything.
I love that, man.
All right. Maurice, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in today. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 satellite radio. No matter where you're at in the world, whether you're listening to us on the iOS or Android app, Siri, Alexa, Apple Music, Live FM radio, Streamitter, MyTuner, another favorite, and more. We are your premier destination for all things news, music, sports, entertainment, reality TV, and great lifestyle conversational pieces like what we had today with Maurice Benard. All that and more. Stay tuned. More UFC content coming up. Head on over to power985.com. You can find out all the information, latest news of what's happening with that. My recent interview with Naked and Afraid XL, Dan Link, good friend. He's on the new show with Matt Wright and Steve. Last One Standing, new episode. I believe the recap episode airs this Sunday. Season premiere ends July 16th, Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then if you missed the 5 p.m., I believe it re-airs the next episode at 9 o'clock. Other than that, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to the fans and then listeners, Pierre, Emmanuel, Jackie, Chris. I mean, the list goes on and on. Thank you so much for the love, the respect, the support. This episode will be published and available on Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Whether you want to listen to it again, share it with friends, family, saving it, or not wanting to wait for the re-airing of this episode at a later date. All things when you want to check out for Power 98.5 satellite radio, whether it's on the iOS or Android app or the website, check the schedule. It's in two different spots, homepage and live music, and then you'll be able to find out all the upcoming events and shows. Stay tuned. Looking forward to adding PGA to the lineup of guests, professional golfers, and covering the event as well. Have a great day, everyone. And once again, make the best of every moment. They say live life without regrets, but I'm going to honestly say in order to not have any, find and establish that peace within yourself first before trying to fix, involve, dissolve, or remedy a situation outside of yourself. You're loved, and I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day, beautiful weekend. And yeah, have a beautiful way. I did say that. Thank you, Christina. I did say that. Have a beautiful way in life, your life. Make it great.
Find us on your socials and let's connect.